I think I am the invisible soldier. I'm only seen by certain people. The ones that are willing to extend to me a helping hand. They come to me and shake my hand and thank me for my service. To them, I'm very visible. While I observe a waving flag, I tend to get a bit emotional. It is a symbolic, inspiring act. I don't see the flag as waving in the wind, rather dancing in the wind. It is very happy that it belongs to this great country of ours. I collect U.S. flags. I keep my casket covered with them. I remembered when I was cold and hungry and couldn't afford to pay for heat. I got inside of this box and covered myself with a sleeping bag and was able to have a good night's sleep. The flag waves happily in vigilance of our political system to do the right thing for our troops. Keep the flag dancing in the winds. While feeding the birds or riding my bike around Fairhaven and New Bedford, I meet with disabled vets from the area, and they tell me their sad stories. I just wish this country were more generous and compassionate to those people that so proudly served our country. I believe they are doing a lot of good, but not enough, especially for those who came back from the war with missing limbs. I live across from Riverside Cemetery, where my wife Velma, my cat Jonah, and my dog Daniel rest in peace. It is nice to ride my bike early in the morning and pay them a visit. I bring them fresh flowers and make sure there is always a waving flag over their graves. My wife died on a campground in Florida. It would cost me over $4,000 to have her body flown to Fairhaven Funeral Parlor. I had to sell my car and leave my trailer in storage for 5 years. We loved our cat and dog. On her headstone, I had their portraits engraved. It was a very sad occasion, going down there and coming back. I was never able to get back into camping. I saw the automobile she bought me, and I was able to use that money to have her buried here in Riverside Cemetery. This is Big Toes, the tree of knowledge. A friend of mine is writing a novel about it. I have been carving my initials here since I was 12 years old. But the first initials have faded away like an old soldier. No one knows what it's like being homeless until you become one yourself. I believe this country needs to be more generous with its soldiers. Thanks to many of my friends, I hadn't had it that difficult, but I know many soldiers that serve this country proudly, especially in times of war, that have not been as lucky as I. Most people refer to seagulls as loud scavengers. I call them nature's unpaid garbage collectors. Though I had my bad times, I feel very fortunate. I'm alive and healthy today and live comfortably. I have plenty of books to read and areas to relax in my building, though I'd rather be at Fort Phoenix, going for a swim, or feeding the birds. It keeps me sane. It doesn't take a scientist to understand the real issues, but simple common sense. The money is available, but I think there is still too much red tape in putting it to good use. This country spends too much money on issues that are less important than taking care of its wounded soldiers. I tip my hat to those vets that served during the wars. They were the true heroes. I came to this country from Norway when I was 8 years old. I knew no one and didn't speak the language. But this country gave me a home and treated me like one of them. For that I am very grateful. Conversely, I liked the fact that I could speak freely about the inconsistencies and lack of awareness of our government towards our veterans, especially toward the wounded ones, who I believe deserve better. I have a lot of respect for anyone who served in the armed forces. They followed after John F. Kennedy's greatest speech, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." These soldiers serve our country unconditionally and selfless, but I think personally that we should be more compassionate and ask them, "What can we do for you for serving so proudly, and be willing to give your life so the rest of us can live comfortably?" We owe them a little more than just a simple "Thank you for your service." Like General Douglas MacArthur once said in one of his speeches, "Old soldiers never die, they just fade away."
Just my children and my wife. Thank my lucky stars to be living here today. 'Cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away.